process of exploration excites me the most.
What was that itch that drove you to achieve all that you have in your illustrious career?
If I can put my finger at one thing, I don't think I can. I won't be able to tell you one thing which sort of, and especially when you have an itch, when you have a desire or restlessness to do something, you're actually not aware of it. You are so much into it. And I often give this example. If you are in a river, struggling with the waves, trying to swim and get out of it, you do not know anything about the character of the river. You don't have the luxury to be able to think about how this river is flowing, what the water is like, and how would it be to sit from a river bank and admire. You don't. You are into it. So your entire being is actually trying to, you can't differentiate. It's only later when someone like you asks me this question today, I will retrospectively look back and say, what was that which was sort of making me restless? And I think if I do that, I don't think I would have been able to do it at the time I was into it. But today, I'm still into it, but there are certain things which maybe at a younger age, in my teenagers, those years, probably I can look back and say that I think there was a desire to express and share my ideas with the people, and also desire to be able to find solutions to problems in a creative way. So I think those are the things which I feel, and and there is some internal belief that I have something to offer. And I think all of us have it, just the degree varies. That I had a strong belief that I have an authentic way of looking at things, and I can provide a fresher perspective to various things. So I think that's probably was the thing. Also, I was into performing arts. See, so I could sing. So I probably would sort of perform on stage very much, act, and also non-performing things like writing or composing. So I used to do both, and a combination of those things also made me believe that I have something to offer, or people are listening to me. I used to feel that when I say people listen to, and that confidence you get.
And it is a very rare thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, because people sort of don't. Everybody has something to say, but people listen to somebody and not listen to everyone. So I felt that there is, whether it was my elders or my teachers or my family, who made me believe that I have something to say.
You're working in advertising, you're writing songs and scripts. What has been the most satisfying for you?
Since we started from how connecting with people is important to me, I think both have been very important. Actually, people might feel that since I'm from the world of advertising, branding, world of cinema, the only important thing to me would be to find an echo, or people sort of connecting with me. That's very, very important to me. But apart from that, it's an internal process as well. Sometimes I do not look for any audience, and I'm honestly telling you that. Sometimes I don't want an audience. It's just me, my piece of paper, what I've written for myself. Sometimes I write to clear my thoughts as well, to understand yourself. It's very important to not to get entangled. We get very entangled. We जैसे कहते हैं खुद में ही उलझ जाते हैं, और खुद में ही उलझ जाते हैं तो खुद को ही सुलझना पड़ता है, और वो एक प्रक्रिया है. That's a process, and that process is also very, very important, and that's an internal process. कई बार आप इसलिए नहीं लिखते हैं कि आप किसी से कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, कई बार आप इसीलिए लिखते हैं कि आप खुद को समझना चाहते हैं. You want to understand yourself. And I always encourage people to pick up the pen and paper and write your own thoughts. It's not for sharing with anyone or going and reciting as a poem or making it into a song or a ad. No. Sometimes you're writing it so that you can understand what you are about, what you are all about. That's also important.
So you're like kind of telling us your writing is something that satisfies you the most?
Being able to solve something, being able to explore something. I think the process of exploration excites me the most. As in the spiritual world, they'll say there is no final destination. This is it. As you and me are talking, this is it. There is nothing else. सत्य यही है कि आप मैं बैठे हैं, हम एक दूसरे से बात कर रहे हैं, मैं आप लोगों से बात कर रहा हूँ. That is the only truth. Beyond this, everything is hypothetical. Nobody knows what will happen in the next moment. So this is very moment which is very much there in your hand. So in that sense, yes, I feel very much like that.
Is there any other role in films that you would want to try? Maybe directing a film?
I do my own role, and all my directors who worked with me know that I go beyond my job description.
Yes.
I would be more of a creative director, and we get spoiled in advertising for being creative directors.
Yeah.
So we not only write, we also sort of consult, we collaborate. I think to me, being on ground, I also go on ground and work in shootings and get involved in it. But how I've chalked out my life till now is that I do more than one project at a time. So I'm doing one film project, I might be doing a music album, I might be doing a book. My book has just come out 2 weeks back. It's called Thinking Aloud. We can flash it in the end of the.
Yes.
This book is very special to me. I was supposed to go to Jaipur Literature Festival where it was supposed to be unveiled, but I was not well, so I couldn't travel that time.
Okay.
But the book is already doing well, and people have already started writing to me about the book.
Can we get a few books?
Yes, I will give it to you. Yeah. So simultaneously, I am also nurturing talent. I work in an organization. I love working with younger people, and shaping their ideas and telling them where to go. And whatever experience I have, in creative world, everybody has a free sort of way of thinking. But through my experience, I like if I can help someone sort of chisel their ideas further or direct them in the direction. So I do a lot of things. So the way I've structured my life today, I love doing everything I do. I love a song as much as I love a good piece of communication. I also love seeing my book sort of in the hands of people and sharing the ideas with them. So when everything is important, direction requires a certain, blocking a certain period of time, like and only do those things. And direction is also job of orchestration. You could get a lot of people together and sort of towards one cause. Not that something which not crossed my mind. A lot of people have offered me. Sometimes when I write a script, people ask me, why don't you direct it yourself? And I have not been tempted enough to do it till now. I found the people who were doing a good job. The day I feel that I've not found the right partner, I probably would do it myself. But till date, that has not come up.
How has been your experience as the chairperson of the Film Certification Board?
It is a new experience for me because I've always just created and expressed and never seen that how various people would look at it from a different vantage point, that this has to go finally to people, and there are sensitivities when things go out, especially in the commercial world. I understand that in fine arts, probably in pure art, you don't normally see this conflict, but in the commercial world it is, because eventually the art is a commercial art and you are trying to ask for somebody's share of wallet. So you will have to respect the share of voice when you ask for the share of wallet. So this was a new experience for me, and in that only thing I realized that when I believe when creative people create things, they create to express themselves, or something concerns them, something touches their heart, and they want to express that particular feeling. That's the purest form of it. But in that, sometime probably you do not see it from that you said something and you forgot that there is collective viewing of something is a very different ballgame. There is a difference between collective consumption of content and individual consumption. So if I'm reading a book and I find something which is probably I believed something else, you sort of talk to yourself and that. But if you're sitting in a room with 10 people and you have a child sitting next to you and you suddenly felt this is not the thing the child is ready to be discussed about, maybe it's not age appropriate for the child to be talking about this particular issue, not mature enough. So those are the things which I never thought before about. That how do you see it from that vantage point, that and you have a responsibility out there to certify films in a certain way so that discomfort for people is not there. So it's a new experience, and I see it as a learning experience to as a writer you need to understand every part of life. So this is one sort of part of life or one experience which only enriches the way, because you cannot operate in a limbo. You work in a society, you live in a world, and you have to understand the concerns and sensitivities of the world you live in. So this role has made me look at things from that vantage point.
Now you have served on the top positions for leading advertising organizations. What does it take to grow in an advertising industry?
Any creative industry, I see मेरा आकाश हमेशा काफ़ी बड़ा रहा है. मैं क्रिएटिविटी को एडवर्टाइजिंग फिल्म्स और बुक्स और पोइट्री और म्यूज़िक ऐसे कभी मैं हर चीज़ में करता हूँ. म्यूज़िक भी करता हूँ, स्क्रिप्ट्स भी लिखता हूँ. अभी मणिकर्णिका का मैंने किया था, फिल्म की थी. बहुत सी चीज़ें चल रही. वन म्यूजिकल आई एम वर्किंग ऑन राइट नाउ इज ऑल एवरीथिंग गोइंग टू बी सेट थ्रू सॉन्ग्स. सो आई डील विद डिफरेंट. मुझे कोई एक्चुअली उसमें डिफरेंस नहीं लगता. सो व्हेन यू से व्हाट डज इट टेक टू be successful in this industry, I would say in the creative industry. Fashion is also a part of this industry. Even what you're doing right now in making an audiovisual, I think it's a creative industry. This is all part of the same industry. So when you are in the creative industry, you should know first of all what is your and especially the commercial world. I think you have to respect the principles of marketing, the basics. That you respect, as I said earlier, the share of wallet. If somebody is paying for something, it's a hard-earned, somebody's hard-earned money. Yeah. I think you have to be rewarding enough. Even if an ad, you're giving a piece of information, I always ask the youngsters to tell me what is the reward that the person has got. Apart from the information, which is actually for your good, because you're telling the person to buy your product. But what is in it for that person? It's very important to know what is in it for that person. Even if somebody is watching a film, somebody is watching an ad. In a film, it's simple that say he or she is there for entertainment, and have you been engaging and entertaining enough? In an ad, again, I think you should not forget that the person should feel not that person wasted his or her time. The difference between a film and an ad is, a film is a choice somebody makes, that I am going to watch this film. So you've made a choice, conscious decision. An ad has more challenge because it is intervention. I was not sitting in front of my television screen or any screen to watch your ad. You just came in. Now if you have came in, you've just come in, like we are talking and somebody just comes in, you would definitely ask that person, you better be rewarding, you better be worthy of it, that you have stopped me from watching what I was watching and you've just come in between. Now tell me what do you have to, oh, for this you have come. So it could be that you came at a time that person was in absolutely an intense moment with the content and you interrupted. And you interrupted, he did not, first of all, like your interruption. Now after that, you have bored the hell out of him or given him something in a very, very unconcerned fashion. There could be negative repercussions of that. That the person can say that और तो कुछ भी हो तेरा तो नहीं खरीदूंगा मैं. You know what? Because you came at that moment. So it is very important that you respect your consumer and you reward your consumer, you know, whichever way. It could be an emotional reward, it could be a reward in terms of the budget or a benefit you are offering, but you have to reward.
So in a marketing word, not customer satisfaction but customer delight.
Yeah, satisfaction is too tame a word. I mean, it could, you can use various metaphors for that. But yes, in a sense, I'd say reward.
What is the edge that a young advertising or a creative professional must have, in your opinion?
I think to find one's authentic voice is very important. We all learn from other people's work. In advertising also, we have you know, various awards shows or collection of ads or work from other people. We learn from it. All of us have. I mean, I've extensively traveled the world. Have, you know, some of the juries I have been in remote places of the world. You know, I've been to Latin America. I've been to, you know, East Europe, Asia, many countries, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. I've chaired juries in those countries, including, of course, the festival like Cannes. And sometimes I do go to those juries just to understand how other people are thinking, you know. But in this entire journey, the quest for me has been, and I can only share, see, nobody can, you should not, there is no sort of prescription here. But one guiding principle could be there, which is that what is my voice? How am I seeing it differently? In the world of, see, things have been said before. In my opinion, if you believe in God or a creator or believe in some way of creation, anything which was worth creating has been created. A river has been created, or a mountain is there, okay? You only have a vantage point. You see those things differently. जैसे किसी ने पहले नहीं देखा, मैंने उस नज़र से उस चीज़ को देखा. वो चीज़ वहीं पर है, लेकिन उसको देखने का जो नज़रिया है, the way I looked at the particular thing was never looked at before. You know, तुमने किस नज़र से मुझे देखा कि मुझे लगा कि मैं नया समझ. You know, वही बीटन पाथ है, उसी पे सब चलते आ जा रहे हैं, लेकिन कुछ लोग उसको दूसरी नज़र से देखते हैं और उसी में नयापन आता है. You know, and for example, falling in love, like two people have fallen in love since time immemorial. But so much of poetry has been done in terms of two people looking at each other that you find that this had never happened before. Why do you see that? Because the vantage point is different. I think that is authentic vantage point, authentic voice. So if somebody has to work in this profession, the creative profession, look for your authentic voice.
A number of campaigns by you have been hugely successful. Do you have any favorite?
You know, it becomes a difficult thing for me, you know, every, you would say it's a very unromantic answer, but you know, whatever really meets the challenge at that time best becomes my favorite. Yes, from the point of craft, people who are interested in craft, we can take a different session on that, and I can tell you the nuance of craft and how I value the rhythm and rhyme and cadence and meter and, you know, discipline. Of course, that's a journey which a creative person, it's important to me, because when I meet people who are good at their work, the craft people, very good at their craft, there is a certain respect you have, you know, for the way it's written, the way it's crafted, and that may be not understood by the everyday common man. They feel it, but they don't sort of kind of dissect it and tell you. But yes, in the peer group, you get that. But if you keep that aside, that craft aside, I think what meets the challenge is very important to me. Like recently, I mean, the work we are doing on Reckitt-Benckiser, the whole building of Dettol and Harpic brands and aligning them with the whole Swachh Bharat movement and building the brand as it should be. I think the work Dettol Ka Dhula, which I'm very proud of, I think might not be the best song or a best jingle or a best sort of shot taken, but overall as a communication sort of solution, I feel it did more than what the client was expecting, and I think those are the things which delight you. So at this moment, I think that piece of work really delights me. The work we did for Paytm delights me. The work we are doing in now many other social social campaigns, women empowerment. We are doing a lot of work, which is satisfying in a different sense. So I think what is put up as a task, how in that context it delights me. It is very difficult to say in advertising that because sometimes you feel there is a great piece of craft and and it is, but it has not met the requirements or the needs of the client. That also does not completely satisfy me, because I feel we are there to provide solution. Wow. And that should not be forgotten, to especially the people who feel that, oh, it was not creatively exciting and all that, then, but you have to see what was the context, what was it trying to achieve, and in that context, has it been able to meet the goals of sometimes it's just a perception you are trying to correct. So that is the reason there is a science to advertising. Apart from it being an art, there is a science. You need to understand the nitty-gritties of what you're trying to achieve with one campaign. It's not a hypothetical thing. People, especially students who are not studying advertising, probably they would think, oh, what is there? You're writing a slogan, a good rhyming, two nice lines. But you don't sometimes realize that that particular slogan is actually come out of a lot of thinking, and that simple line is actually talking about a big strategy. And our challenge is not to make the consumer realize about the strategy, but to communicate what is the objective.
Is there an itch that you have not been able to satisfy yet?
I think none. If you're satisfied, you stop.
Yeah, true.
So there is the moment. See, आप कब तक खुजाते हैं? जब तक खुजाते, जब तक खुजली मिट जाती, उसका निकल जाते हैं आगे, है ना? तो वो एक परमानेंट क्वेस्ट है, मुझे लगता है वो रहनी चाहिए आदमी के अंदर, एक डिज़ायर रहनी चाहिए कि
खुजली कभी मिटे ना।
हाँ, मतलब एक दूरी तो हमेशा रहे, बिकॉज फाइनल तो किसी को नहीं पता है कि कहाँ जाना है। जब यही पता नहीं कहाँ जाना है, तो ये मोमेंट जैसे मैंने कहा, उसका वही है, उसको रियली। अभी स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनको लगता है कि यहाँ से निकल के जहाँ जाएंगे, प्लीज डोंट थिंक दैट वहाँ कुछ स्वर्ग कहीं नहीं है, स्वर्ग यही है।
We would love for you to sing a song or tell a poetry.
एक गाना मैंने लिखा था, कुछ फिल्म के गाने हिट नहीं होते हैं तो वो आपको ज़्यादा प्रिय हो जाते हैं। वो कहते हैं अच्छा रंग दे बसंती सुना दीजिए, तारे ज़मीं पर सुना दीजिए। मुझे लगता है कि एक फिर मिलेंगे करके एक फिल्म के मैंने गाने लिखे थे, और उसमें मतलब मोटिवेशनल था वो गाना कि खुल के मुस्कुरा ले तू, दर्द को शर्माने दे, खुल के मुस्कुरा ले तू, दर्द को शर्माने दे, बूंदों को धरती पर साज एक बजाने दे, हवाएं कह रही हैं आजा झूले ज़रा, गगन के गाल को चल जाके छूले ज़रा, खुल के मुस्कुरा ले तू दर्द को शर्माने दे.
Is there any recent campaign you have really loved it?
No, I think a lot of work. See, fortunately, we were the best agency awarded around the world, globe, from every award from last few years, like whether it's Cannes or One Show or DNAD and all that. So a lot of good work has happened in our agency, and but some in between the Super Bowl work, like Tide and all those pieces of work, I think, and some of the social work which has come from New York, I have really liked. But yeah, maybe some other day we will talk in detail about those campaigns.
Is there any mantra that you would like to tell all these young, aspiring, creative professionals?
See, as I said, be authentic. Second thing is I call Anubhut Satya. I believe in Anubhut Satya. Anubhut Satya is the one which you have experienced. Aapki Anubhuti, you have experienced. Even in the time of we're talking about artificial intelligence, and already you would have heard in the two the scripts have come out as artificial intelligence and script writers. So Benjamin karke ek naam unhone diya tha abhi. That's a script writer, which is artificial intelligence and writing scripts as well. Now, where does human fit into this world? I would say the first-hand experience. See, don't forget that your first-hand experience is irreplaceable. What you feel, what you've gone through. So, more you experience, better you will understand life. Better you understand life, better you will be able to communicate. Okay, so there is no shortcut for experience. Okay, yes, reading books is important. Yes, watching films is important. I think in my hierarchy, I would say less than watching films, reading books is more important. And more than reading books, reading life is more important. If you see, audiovisual should be the last resort, because audiovisual actually puts everything too simply, and you watch it like that. You're actually just consuming it. Okay, you're passive. Book makes you a little more active, and life makes you completely active and participative, and that's where you learn the most.
What has been your 2 yum moment in life? Like 2 yum, this was the bestest moment in my life.
मुझे तो लगता है कि 2 yum, I think every moment is 2 yum. Right now this is 2 yum. I don't go back, I don't think forward. For me this is 2 yum. So 2 yum is this very moment.